Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin, the OG original Grognard, sitting back down here in the corner. And oh my god, are we actually getting back to some Hex Encounter war game stuff? Oh my god, I don't know what we're gonna do. What are we looking at? Open Fire, Solitaire Tank Combat, World War II, Victory Games, 1988. Kind of the follow-up game to their massively popular Ambush series and Battle Hymn series. This game has you playing the role of a platoon of armor. I've never played this. This came out when I was in the service, and as I've stated several times in the past, living on board ship, you don't have a lot of space. So I didn't buy a lot of games when I was in the service because I didn't have a lot of space. So this is one that I always wanted to pick up but never got around to picking up. And this is actually a kind donation to the channel. The donor basically said, I just want to see it played. So okay. Okay, granted I've been sitting on for this for like what, 2, 3, 4 months now. I'm a bit slow, but I get around to them. Jeez. Usually, sometimes. Anyway, so basically what we're just going to be doing is taking a look at the components of this game and pointing out any differences I might see between this and the original Ambush, because there are differences. This is if you know how to play Ambush, you're going to have maybe a good idea how to play this, but not exactly from what I've gone through so far. So anyways, box cover, it's a Sherman. Doesn't look like a Sherman. I mean, it's got too much sloped armor on the front for a Sherman. I don't know. But it's Sherman-ish. Let's leave it at that. I mean, it can't be an easy 8. The gun isn't big enough to be an easy 8. I don't know. Sherman-ish. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right. One sheet of counters. I will say right off the bat that this game does not really share the same art style as Ambush. Ambush, I don't know if it was the coloration or just the exaggerated graphics that were given to like the foxholes, the shell holes, the bunkers. It made it look very cartoony, which was fine because it was kind of like reading a comic book when you were playing through it. It had some wild slapstick moments. This is definitely more realistic. Now, granted, the counters, the tank counters in Ambush, the few of them that were historically and looked historically accurately good, but just the coloration, the background, that yellowish color. Plus, like I said, how some of the counters looked, it just made it feel kind of cartoony. This is definitely more of kind of a hardcore, old school Avalon Hill Victory Games your standard traditional war game. I have no idea what any of these counters are really. I'm guessing that's a brewed up tank. I have no idea what that is. Artillery strike, dug in positions, bunch of Shermans. And you can play something other than Shermans. They got the A1s, the A3s, they got the Easy 8s, they got M10s. Hell, they got M26s in there. Friggin' Pershings, baby. M8 Greyhounds. 75 millimeter or 76 millimeter ATGs, and on the German side you got Panzerkampfwagenführers and Jägertigers, Panthers, another Tiger. Not very many German vehicles. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 German vehicles compared to, oh my God, the mass amount of Americans. But I guess it looks like you've got a Focke-Wulf strike there, and your North counter, and I'm guessing no petrol, no fuel. Guessing those are pillbox locations. But so yeah, and the one thing I do love about these is that the turret counters are hexagonal. I really, really like that. I think that's a really cool, nice little touch. Rulebook. It's your standard Victory Games rulebook. There's not much in the way of pictures in it. Some, but, not as much as you would think. How many pages? What page are we looking at? 32. And so you got one back sheet is counter manifest, index, and then it looks like from page 26 on are scenarios. So yeah, 22 pages of rules, which really isn't too bad. I mean, it's a solitaire game, so of course you're going to have a bit thicker rules just for running the mechanics of a solitaire system. So, your typical Victory Games rule book. Now, this is the thing that threw me for a loop. Here's the mission card. Everybody knows the mission cartridge sleeve if you've done Ambush. It is the heart and soul of the Ambush game. And everybody knows in Ambush we have the mission cards. We have, like 6 mission cards for every mission. So in the base game, there was like 40 mission cards. Yeah, this is it. This is a single mission card for the mission cartridge for the entire game. Now, from what I have gone through and what I have looked at is that you don't check every hex you move into like you do in Ambush. In Open Fire, you have a bunch of objective markers that you put down on the map that are defined by the scenario, and you only check the mission sleeve when you come into the line of sight of one of these objective markers. So that makes it real easy. So, if you've got, one mission that's only got like 8 objectives, markers placed, it's real easy to cut down the sleeve. And let's see there's here this event marker condition adjustment chart on the back. I'm not really sure what this means. I'm sure I'll find out when the rules come around. But yeah, the entire game is driven by this one card. So yeah, a little bit different mechanic. You're not checking the sleeve every hex you move into. You check it for every time you come within the line of sight of a pre-placed objective marker, which I'm sure speeds up play immensely. And of course, here we are with unit cards. We know the unit cards. Somewhat similar to Ambush. It's got the unit, what it is, the dice roll, whatever condition it is, special conditions, tells you which paragraph to look to figure out what it is, for what your what the German unit is going to do. I got a whole plethora of these. Probably not. I think there's not quite as many as there was in the original. No, not by a long shot. So, but still, you've got your cards. So you kind of know what these are going to do if you've played the original Ambush. Let's see what else we got. Oh, record sheet. Kind of like the squad record sheet in the regular Ambush, mission, date. I have no idea what all these numbers, maybe experience points numbers around here. I have no idea. Current conditions, but yeah, you have up to 8 vehicles in your platoon. And yeah, there you go. It's a record sheet. What more can you say about a record sheet? And since there are not as many, since you're not going to be checking for every hex you enter, the paragraph book is going to be much shorter, because basically you just go to the paragraph book whenever you have a line of sight to an objective marker, or you're trying to figure out what a German unit is going to do. Paragraph book is much smaller. I mean, this is 11 pages. Where the original Ambush was like 36 pages. So I have a feeling this is going to be less narrative. So what else have we got here? This looks like it's a display sheet. This has all your charts and stuff on it. Really, really long ass. But yeah, it's got all your relative, your action track numbers back, so we were familiar with that from the original one. And then it looks like it has penetration values and to hit numbers at different ranges here along the top. I get a real MBT vibe from this game. If anybody played the original MBT or IDF from Avalon Hill, and they had the unit cards, and it was very, very detail oriented. I mean, the rivet counters loved it because it was so highly oriented. And I say that because here is the data card for an M3 half track. There's everything you need to know about the M3 half track. This entire card. This almost kind of feels like kind of an old school miniatures game, or like I said, MBT with the data cards. And you've got M8, and you've got the M4 Sherman here, classification tank, transport capacities, maximum ammo, the different counters you have for it, target facing. I'm sure this is where the hit location is if you're shooting at from the front, side, rear. And just different stats, the kill numbers for it. I mean, like I said, it's got that really, really thick MBT or old school miniature system. There was back in the mid '80s. There was for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the system, but there was a Micro Armor system that we played that had charts and everything, kind of like this. I mean, kind of reaching towards modern day Fistful of Toes. That system is very, very chart heavy as well. So let's go ahead and get to really the final part, which I think is actually the prettiest part of the game, is the map. And this is, I think it's a 22 by 31. I mean, it's your standard one sheet map for victory games, but it's got this kind of art feel. Because if you take a look at the village, you've kind of got like the buildings. They kind of drew the buildings in kind of a 3D motive. So they had to make sure they really defined it, because it's sometimes really hard to get hexes identified by what they are sometimes. And so sometimes this type of art style can be a little bit off-putting, just because it's real hard to say, all right, is this a town hex? Is this a village hex? I mean, what kind of hex it is. But I think they paid enough attention to the hex definitions and, did the artwork with inside the hexes that you can actually pretty well define. And, I mean, here's like the bridge hex. So you can definitely see that, yeah, all right, that's kind of a three-dimensional artwork of a bridge, but it's within this hex, so that's only the bridge hex. There's too many times I've seen other art systems or other game systems use this type of art style, and they just completely fail because they allow the 3D drawings to expand past the edge of the hexes. However, in this game, it looks like they did a good enough job. And kept the 3D drawings for the most part. I mean, okay, yeah, granted, this windmill's a little bit pushing into this river hex, but you're not going to confuse. Okay, that just because the two arms of the windmill, it's still going to be a river hex. So I kind of really dig on this art style. Occasionally, I think most of the times you're going to see this type of art style in Napoleonic games. Labatai, I think, uses this art style on some of their game boards and a few other Napoleonic systems out there. But I just wanted to get this out real quick, mostly to let everybody know that, yes, we do have actual hex encounter games that we are getting back to. I'm sure some of my viewers, most of my viewers are tired. Stop with the streaming crap. You know how boring it is to watch you play Sea Lion or Order of Battle, or especially Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I've got three types of groups of people that I'm trying to keep happy. I got my sports game players, which I need to do more with. I got my casual gamers, which is kind of what I've been doing the streams with, and then I got my hardcore hex encounter guys. So it's trying to, and honestly, what it comes down to is I'm going to do what I want to do. It's my channel. I want to have fun with it. Sometimes I need to just do something a little bit different, cleanse the palate a little bit, and refresh myself and just do some other stuff. So, but yeah, we're looking at. I've read the first couple pages of Open Fire. May take me, depending on how ambitious I'm feeling on reading the rules, probably might see our first gameplay video of this next week. And I'm also kind of looking down the road what I want to do after this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go even more old school and break out Sword and the Stars from SPI. I managed to get my hands on the boxed version, not the magazine version, but I've always been fascinated with that system, and I think we may break that out. And who knows what else we got coming down the pipe. I'm sure I'll come up with some other stuff. Yes, I'll still be doing my streaming interlaced here and there. There will be, when the next DLC for Stellaris, the computer game, comes out, that is I'm definitely going to stream my first playthrough with the new system, because they're totally revamping the game system again. We're getting actual corporation and corporate mechanics. So my friggin' Dwarven Stellar Industries empire is going to be a real corporation now. They've got interbreeding with races, so you can have half-breeds in the races now. They've got, what else they've got? They've completely overhauled the planetary mechanics. Yeah, we're going to see me bumble my way, try to figure out the new mechanics in the new Stellaris. But that's probably not going to come out until beginning of next year. They haven't even announced. It's like, this is a big one. We're not even going to announce when it's going to be released yet. We're working on it. They've been working on it for 4 months now. So give them some time. What else? I would like to get my hands on Air Commander. That's their NATO Air Commando. It's the new one from Hollandspiel. Is all out of stock right now. I checked the website the other day. It's like, yep, out of stock. It's like balls. I may order the Alexander expansion for table battles. I really enjoyed table battles from Hollandspiel. It's a quick little, it's that card based, and roll the dice with the little wood blocks to keep track of casualties and so on and so forth. I enjoyed that. The Alexander expansion came out. I may order that. That's like, I don't know, $12. I think I could afford that. What else have we got? We got some stuff I'd like to do. I'm a big fan of railroad games too. I've got a copy of Silverton, which covers the Colorado railroads during the silver era, the 1880s, 1890s. I may break that out because I really do enjoy train games. So a lot of good stuff coming. I just need to get around to it. Get off my ass and do something. All right, boys and girls. Appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you coming around. You know what's coming. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. I'll see everybody next time. See ya.